Quick question. Have you ever been in a situation where someone starts speaking in English and then you have no idea what they're saying? I can probably guarantee that they used some English slang. Well, that's why I created today's lesson. I'm going to teach you how to properly use English slang. Are you ready? Well, I'm Teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, so for today's lesson, we are going to look at two groups of slang. All right, so the first group is right here. Now, you'll notice that I included some images. That's because I like to offer you some triggers that you can remember. You can use these triggers to remember the slang. So here we go. Let's start with the first slang term, earful. Now, real quick for the pronunciation after me, earful. That's right, front teeth, bottom lip, earful. You got it. All right, now what does this actually mean? This is a prolonged amount of talking, typically an angry reprimand, lots of news or gossip. So real quick, let me explain this to you. Right now, I am explaining this lesson to you and you're listening intently, right? Hopefully you're enjoying it so far. But I want you to imagine when you were a child, maybe your mom or your dad, they like to talk and maybe you got in trouble. And you came home and your mom said, "What happened?" And you said, "Sorry, Mom, my friends and I got in trouble." And then for the next 20 minutes, your mom proceeded to, "I told you not to do that. You better not ever do that when I'm not around you." And on and on and on. So again, she spoke for a long period of time. You got an earful. Kind of makes sense? All right, so let's look at the example sentence. Here we go. The teacher gave her student an earful. Makes sense, right? That means the teacher went on and on when she was talking to the student. All right? Okay, now let's look at the second one. The second slang term is elbow grease. Elbow grease? Trust me, I got you. Now, let me explain what elbow grease actually is. It refers to hard physical work, especially vigorous work, vigorous applied physical labor or effort. All right, so let's think about it like this. Let's say you have a huge project that you're working on. Let's say, you know what? You want to build something that's going to go in your room or your office. So you have to use nails and hammers and wood, and it takes a lot of effort to build this, let's say, bookcase that you want to build. So you're putting a lot of hard physical work. So building the bookcase requires a lot of elbow grease. That's how we use it. All right. So let's look at another example. This project needs some elbow grease. So now whenever you hear an American or another native English speaker use this slang term, you will understand that they're not referring to their elbow and grease. They're actually referring to physical work and putting in lots of effort. Have you ever had to use physical hard work or physical labor to accomplish a goal? Again, remember, in the comment section, I always want you guys to comment so that you can participate in the lesson. So again, have you ever had to use elbow grease to finish a project? Let me know in the comment section, all right? Okay, let's move on to the next one, all right? Now, our next slang term is fab. Real easy, right? Fab. All right, now, fab is a really easy one. It just means fabulous, wonderful, or an expression of approval or enthusiasm. So again, it's the shortened form of fabulous. So you are fabulous or you are fab. Make sense? So it's a slang term, but it really is just a shortened form of that word. So whenever something is wonderful or awesome or amazing, you can say, "That's fab." All right. Now let's see the example sentence. Here we go. That dress looks fab. So let's say, for example, somebody comes up to you and they have a beautiful dress on or a beautiful outfit. You say, "Ooh, that looks fab." Yes. Makes sense? All right. Now let's keep going. Here we go. The next one is flick. Now I want to pause really quickly because the pronunciation may be a little bit tricky. Here we go. Flick. There you go. Front teeth, bottom lip, and then immediately your tongue for the L sound needs to touch the roof of your mouth. Here we go. Flick. Flick. Excellent job. Very good. Now, what is a flick? I'm going to tell you. All right. So the word flick, this slang literally means a movie. That's right. Very simple. So we can say there was a popular flick playing at the cinema this weekend. Or in other words, there was a popular movie playing at the cinema or the movie theater this weekend. Make sense? All right, so let's go get another one. You're learning a lot in this lesson. Here we go. Here's the next one. Fluke. Again, another FL combination. So after me, fluke. Come on now, you're doing a great job. After me again, fluke. Excellent job. Now, what does this term mean? Fluke. What is this? A good outcome stemming more from luck than skill, or an unexpected stroke of good luck. So, like the lady in the picture, look at the picture really quickly. She has her hands up like, I don't know what happened. So let's say, for example, you suddenly win the lottery, but you never did anything. You never played the numbers. Somebody actually just gave you a ticket and said, hey, I don't need this ticket anymore. You can have it if you like. You take the ticket and suddenly when you're watching the television, your number gets called and you win lots of money. I didn't do anything. That was a fluke. Make sense? All right, good. So let's see the example right here. It says, it was a fluke to find that money on the ground. Think about whenever you've been walking maybe in the parking lot or walking around somewhere in a park and you suddenly, I see some money, and you pick it up. You don't know where it came from. It was a fluke. Kind of makes sense? All right, now we've learned 5 very useful slang terms so far, but there's something that happens when you learn slang. Now we're not done because we have a second group we're going to look at. But here's something that I want to emphasize. You see, many students ask me, teacher, I watch your English videos and I learn lots of English, say slang or terms. Again, if you're following me on Instagram, you can learn slang every single day. So you can see it right here. I teach it every day. But it's not just about watching the videos and learning. The second part is you must remember to practice what you are learning. And this introduces us into our sponsor for today. The sponsor of this video is Cambly. Cambly offers amazing English tutors. They have tutors from Australia, from Canada, from America, and they help you so much. I literally have students in my academy that tell me on a regular basis, teacher, I love my Cambly tutor. Why? Because they're able to practice what they learn in my lessons. They're able to practice with a tutor. So if you are looking for a way to take your English truly to the next level and not just learn what I'm teaching you, but practice with a native English speaker, you need to go with Cambly. Cambly has partnered with me for this video, and I'm so glad they sponsored this video. I love Cambly, and what they want to do is give you a special gift. Now, you can get a free 15-minute lesson with Cambly by using the coupon code right in the description. Now, some of you have already tried out Cambly and already received the 15-minute call. It's okay. You can still use the other coupon. Now, the other coupon is for students like you who are ready to go to the next level. If you want to sign up for a full year, you can get 42% off. Now, again, Cambly is awesome. I know you're going to love them. So Cambly, thank you for sponsoring this video. Practice what you're learning. Practice these 5 slang terms we've already learned. Click the link in the description. Now, let's go back and keep learning some more slang. All right, so here we go. Now, the next group is right here. And you see we have a different group of images. So here's the first image. And the word is flunk. So again, we have another FL. So again, flunk. There you go. Once more time. One more time. Here we go. Flunk. Excellent. Now, what does flunk actually mean? What does the slang term mean? So here we go. It means to fail a course, courses, or an exam. All right. So I want you to think about when you were in school, or you may still be in school, and you studied really hard, but unfortunately you didn't get a good grade on a test. Or you didn't study and you were a rebel and you failed your exams and then you failed the course. Instead of saying fail, you can say, I flunked. And that's slang. Make sense? All right, so let's see another example sentence. Here we go. The student did not study, so he flunked his math exam. Now you're catching on, right? All right, let's move on to our next slang. Here we go. Freebie. We have a lot of F practice. Here we go. Freebie. One more time. Freebie. Excellent. So what word do you see within this slang term? Freebie. Yeah. All right. So this actually means something for free. Something you get without paying for it. Kind of like this video. This is a freebie. I'm teaching you via YouTube and you're not paying anything. And I'm so happy to help you. But if you want to take your English to the next level, remember, you can join my academy. All right. But again, freebie is something for free. Now let's see a sentence. Here we go. One successful marketing technique is to offer a freebie if you try out the service or buy the product. Makes sense. So for example, Cambly offered you a freebie. It kind of makes sense, right? All right, great. So we have freebie. Now, what's the next slang we have? Here we go. The next one is garbage. Garbage. Like, you know that word, right? Garbage, like trash. But what does the slang term garbage actually mean? Let me tell you. All right, so this actually means of poor quality. So when something does not have good quality. So for example, I've shown you guys many times, I got a new phone and has really good features. It's really good quality. But my old phone was, had kind of, not the best quality. So I can say, it was garbage. But this new one, woo-wee, it's awesome. So let's see a sentence that uses this slang term garbage. Here we go. The items in the discount computer store looked like garbage. Makes sense, right? All right, let's see some more. Here we go. We're really helping you improve your slang. So we have glitch. Now for pronunciation after me, glitch. There you go. One more time, glitch. Excellent. Now glitch. Let me show you what this word means. A fault or defect, especially in computer software. All right. Now in the background, you're going to hear some things going on outside, but it's okay. You know, this quarantine has everyone working from home. So there's a lot going on outside, but we're just going to enjoy the sound of someone cutting their grass. It's reality. Okay. All right. So we're talking about glitch. All right. So a fault or defect. Imagine. You see what just happened? Now I was acting, but if there's a glitch in technology, sometimes the person on the screen can jump or their words don't sound right. That's a glitch. Make sense? All right, so let's see an example sentence. Here we go. The computer technician fixed the glitch in the program and now it works perfectly. Okay, kind of makes sense? All right, so let's keep going. Now we have this one right here. Goof off or goof around. So after me, goof off. Lots of F words. Goof off. Excellent. Goof around. There you go. Goof around. Yeah, you got it. Now, what does this mean to goof off or goof around? So this refers to wasting time or playing around. Imagine there are students in a classroom. And again, I told you I've taught many kids as well. And sometimes kids like to play instead of focusing. So I remember teaching some students in Korea and they were middle school students. And, you know, it's in the afternoon and you kind of are tired. So the students wanted to play. And I said, hey guys, stop goofing around and let's study. Make sense? All right. So let's look at this sentence right here. The little boy always goofed around even when it was time to work. Makes sense, right? All right, so we had goof off or goof around. Now we learned so many different slang terms